What keeps a K-pop group alive after the spotlight fades? Is it the fans, the music, the story, or is it the system that created them in the first place? We often talk about debut concepts, viral songs, or stage presence, but the real secret to longevity doesn't just rely on great music. A huge part of it relies on how a company treat their artist. YG, SM, JYP, and HYBE built empires, but each one has a radically different blueprint for how to sustain the success. In this video, let's look at how these companies manage their artists, why some groups thrive while others fade, and what it really takes to last in an industry built on constant reinvention. First, let's talk about artist and creative development. Let's go company by company. First up, SM Entertainment, business first, concept second. SM has led K-pop in more ways than one. Aside from being the first agency of its kind in Korea and creating the foundational K-pop system, SM has consistently launched groups with distinct concepts. While HOT was the pioneer, TVXQ was crafted to look and sound like a Japanese boy band. Super Junior was the first group with that many members. EXO was a group with a sci-fi from outer space concept, and aespa was introduced as existing in a parallel metaverse. These concepts led to iconic releases like Myrotic, Sorry Sorry, and Black Mamba. These unique ideas are primarily driven by marketing insights and business opportunities. Founder and former CEO Yi Soo-man often analyzed the cultural and consumer landscape, identifying trends, needs, and styles that the younger generations are likely to engage with, or markets the company can tap into. Super Junior, for example, had many members to allow for broad participation in variety shows, endorsements, TV dramas, and more. That gives them more ways to earn. aespa was built to appeal to a generation immersed in gaming and virtual reality. SM starts with a business or a marketing opportunity first, and then builds the creative direction around that. For HYBE, it's story first, marketing follows. HYBE is the complete opposite of SM. The concept and marketing of their groups begin with the creative narrative. BTS, even before they had a name, began with a genre. Bang Chi-hyuk wanted to form a hip-hop group. As the members came together, they pushed to tell their own stories instead of relying on outsourced songs. Le Seraphim was founded on the concept of fearlessness, building music that lives on the edge. Islet plays with dual identities in dual worlds. And Hypen leans into a darker, more edgy aesthetics. The genre and story of the group shape how they are promoted, and to a large extent, the music that they create. BTS has developed an epic narrative that spans their entire career, with each song progressing the story while also sharing their personal experiences with youth, growth, fame, struggle, and eventually peace. Le Seraphim started with themes of boldness and strength, then moved into exploring hardships and pain, ultimately arriving at a message: courage doesn't mean the absence of fear, but the act of pushing through it. Both the sound and visual direction of these groups evolve alongside the narrative arc. YG Entertainment, if it ain't broke, amplify it. Yang Yun Suk aimed to rise above the clutter of mainstream K-pop. Drawing from the style and legacy of So Taiji and Boys, his former group, he created a hip-hop centered idol group, then packaged them as artists, not just as idols. He reinforced this with high-impact visuals and big-budget music videos. Swagger was part of the brand from the beginning. While other idols were ubiquitous, Yang carefully curated where Big Bang and eventually 21 would appear. Their scarcity became a part of their mystique. They weren't everywhere because they weren't meant to be. Though he hasn't fully recaptured the artist dynamic of Big Bang and 21, he has successfully replicated the rest. Groups like Winner, Icon, and Blackpink have long hiatuses between releases. Each comeback is minimal in output, usually just a mini album. What remains consistent is YG's visual signature. Everything looks massive, shiny, and expensive. The new group, Baby Monster, follows the same formula: same sound, same concept, same approach to marketing. YG found a formula that works, and as long as the market keeps asking for it, they see no reason to change it. JYP, excellence, not uniqueness. JYP thrives by refining existing concepts rather than inventing entirely new ones, focusing on execution over novelty. They form groups that perform proven ideas exceptionally well. Twice, for example, is the quintessential Korean girl group: soft, cheerful, and relatable. ITZY filled a gap in the market by becoming a performance focused girl group when no one else was doing it at that time. Stray Kids may be the exception. They have more flexible and experimental concept because they are in full control over their creatives. So in summary, SM treats concept as a marketing solution. HYBE treats concepts as the story engine. YG scales one proven brand philosophy. And JYP masters execution with familiar formats. Let's talk about how the agencies sustain commercial success. And first up, YG. Their success is almost always shadowed by scandal. YG has been consistent in its exclusive and infrequent approach to sustaining its idol groups. Comebacks after the initial 7-year contract mark are often even rarer. However, the challenge often isn't commercial, it's legal. Many YG idols have encountered legal issues that disrupt group activities and make it difficult to plan returns. In Korea, it is very common for idols to go on a hiatus following a scandal, and YG has had several. Others have left due to contract disputes. Two members of Big Bang were convicted of crimes. Mino of Winner is currently facing accusations related to his military service. Nam Taeyoon left after a creative difference with YG. BI departed Icon following drug allegations, which were eventually proven false. 21 disbanded, at least temporarily, amid contract issues involving Minzy and controversies surrounding Park Bom. So far, Blackpink is the only group that has managed to avoid major public issues. However, each member has pursued their own solo careers while maintaining a group contract with YG. They are scheduled to do the world tour this coming summer. Next up, SM Entertainment, market driven longevity, but only to a point. SM Entertainment has launched some of the most successful acts in K-pop history, from BoA to TVXQ to Girls' Generation to Super Junior to EXO. Much of their success comes from an ability to anticipate and respond to market demands. The downside is that SM's model reflects the volatility of the market it serves: short attention spans and youth driven consumer base. K pop is largely an industry of and for the young, and youth doesn't last forever. In fact, it's pretty short. That, coupled with the standard 7-year contract, after which more leverage shifts to the artists, makes it more practical for SM to invest in a new group than to sustain older ones with the same intensity or capital. That's not to say SM has never had long lasting acts. Artists like Temin and Taeyeon have continued strong solo careers. But overall, solo careers tend to thrive more than groups after the 7-year mark. HYBE. Group identity first, longevity follows. HYBE has always placed strong emphasis on group activities. While they've supported individual pursuits, as evidenced in their early backing of SM Suga and J-Hope solo projects, the focus remains in the group identity. Official solo careers tend to be launched only after the group's brand and narrative are firmly established. This may be one reason why HYBE has managed to sustain group activities and success beyond the typical 7-year window. That said, HYBE's track record is still relatively short. They are a pretty young company. Only three groups, BTS, TXT, and 17, have reached the point where long term sustainability can be measured. TXT and 17 have both renewed their contracts. 17's upcoming enlistment will most likely result in a hiatus, and we will see if the members will actually coordinate their service to shorten the time of their group hiatus. TXT, meanwhile, has remained active, with each member beginning to release solo music. As for BTS, they've gone as far as to synchronize their enlistment to ensure group activities can resume together. But prior to enlistment, as we all know, each member has launched their solo careers. And each member has thrived both locally and internationally. JYP, sustainability through character and cohesion. JYP, one generation younger than SM, appears to have learned from earlier models and has improved in its ability to sustain groups post 7 year contracts, while 2PM, Wonder Girls, and GOT7 ceased regular group activities after their initial terms. None of them actually officially disbanded, and some of them actually made a comeback. Members have continued to speak positively of the company as well, and in some cases returned for reunions or collaborative projects. This suggests that JYP prioritizes maintaining long term relationships over controlling every phase of an artist's career. Look at Twice. They remain active 10 years into their career and is preparing for what may be their biggest world tour yet. An unusual feat for a girl group, especially one that debuted with a youthful concept. Their evolving sound, growing creative input, and consistent team dynamic have allowed them to mature alongside their audience. Stray Kids is also entering stadium tour territory, having built a strong global fan base through self produced music and creative autonomy from early on. JYP has often said that character is key in idol selection, that values must align. And it's that focus that may be the reason so many of their artists maintain goodwill with the company even after moving on. It's not just a business model, it's a culture of trust that's proving to be sustainable. Creative evolution. Truth be told, SM has come up with some of K pop's most ambitious concepts, but the challenge isn't launching them, it's keeping them coherent and evolving them. EXO debuted with elemental superpowers and parallel units, meant to conquer both Korea and China and other parts of the world. It was bold, cinematic, and full of potential until it wasn't. The superpower concept faded from performances and music videos over time, becoming more of a footnote than a foundation. The same pattern followed with aespa. Their metaverse inspired dual avatars and AI lore were ahead of the curve, but the storytelling fizzled, often overshadowed by disconnected comebacks and unclear execution. SM can dream big, but translating those dreams into lasting narratives that fans can follow and feel is where things tend to fall apart. JYP, on the other hand, knows how to grow with its artists. Twice started as the ultimate girl next door group, bright, bubbly, and youthful. But as the members matured, so did the music. Songs like Feel Special and Talk That Talk reflect deeper themes, and the group now has a hand in their own creative process. 2PM walked a similar path, transforming from the wild acrobat idol group to charismatic adult idols with full control over their own artistry. Stray Kids, though, flipped the script entirely. They've self produced since debuted, building a gritty, genre blending sound that's uniquely theirs. What JYP seems to understand is this: giving artists room to evolve and letting them steer creatively isn't just respectful, it is also sustainable. YG, meanwhile, has stuck to its winning formula and stuck hard. Teddy, their go to producer for nearly every major group, created a signature sound that's heavy, high energy, and instantly recognizable. But over time, that sound has become predictable. Whether it's Blackpink, Icon, Baby Monster, the beats, drops, and vocal arrangements often feel recycled. Visually, the music videos remain luxurious and explosive, but conceptually, there's little evolution. YG's approach has been consistency over reinvention, which works until it doesn't. HYBE operates in a different ecosystem entirely. World building is the strategy. BTS didn't just release albums, they released chapters of a long, emotionally resonant story. From school days and societal pressure to self love and existential growth, their discography is a continuous narrative arc. Les Seraphim's fearless concept evolves with every comeback, reflecting internal struggles and triumphs. Even newer groups like Isle It are given thematic blueprints that allow sonic and visual growth. At HYBE, music is not just a product, it's a storytelling device, and that keeps fans invested long term. So, who is going to dominate in the future? Well, SM is standing at a major crossroads, and this time there's no Yi Soo Man to point the way. With its founder and long term creative visionary out of the picture, the shift is already showing. SM's current leadership is stacked with businesses and marketing minds, but what they lack is a creative North Star. Someone who can steer bold ideas into cultural movements, not just product launches. SM has always been the blueprint maker, the label that invented a K pop system. The real question now is, can they still lead a creative revolution, or are they about to become the luxury mall of K pop? Slick, structured, and soulless. YG, on the other hand, seems to be evolving, but maybe not by choice. Their elite, exclusive aura remains intact, but the playbook is shifting. They finally are working with producers outside of Teddy, and Baby Monster is being sent to shows and overseas tours much earlier than Blackpink ever was. It's a subtle but clear shift. YG seems to be moving from "you'll wait for us" to "we'll meet you halfway." The only missing piece? Brand prestige. Blackpink bagged luxury campaigns practically at debut. Baby Monster, despite the buzz, hasn't landed that level of commercial cachet yet. Whether all this hype converts into profit or just noise remains to be seen. JYP is experimenting, but still searching for its next big wave. Twice and Stray Kids are setting the bar sky high with world tours and global fandoms. But newer groups haven't yet hit that level. The company is clearly trying new angles, launching a global girl group, Vicha, to tap into the Western market and introducing Kickflip, a skateboarding themed boy group to ride niche subcultures. It's ambitious and refreshing, but still in the early innings. The challenge isn't just creating new groups, it's creating groups that redefine the market like their predecessors did. HYBE continues to play in a different league entirely, building full on universes instead of just groups. Every act under the umbrella is given a narrative, a mythos, a long act of character development. But BTS's generational saga to TXT's dreams versus reality duality, HYBE isn't selling idols. They're selling stories, and as long as they can keep telling compelling ones, there's no ceiling to what they can build. But here's the catch: none of that will matter if they don't evolve with times. Technology is reshaping not just how we consume music, but what music is. AI generated art, virtual idols, and fan created content are becoming the norm. The battle isn't just for chart positions anymore, it's for relevance in an ever fracturing attention economy. SMYG, JYP, and HYBE each built the foundation of modern K pop. But to survive the next era, they'll have to break their own minds and their own molds, because the next generation of fans won't just stream songs, they'll help define the sound. The challenge may be not just for SMYG, JYP, and HYBE to reinvent themselves, but to actually reinvent what music is for the next generation.
I would love to know your thoughts and pick your brain as to where you think this is headed. Not just K-pop, but just the music industry in general. I think for once in our history, we finally got not finally, but we got to that point where it's just so hard to see the future because of all these moving parts. And somehow I feel like the different directions that this major music labels in Korea are taking may actually represent the different possibilities that where music could actually be in 10, 20, 30 years. I would love to hear your thoughts. So leave them in the comment section below. As always, you can say whatever it is that you want to say. Just please do so respectfully. Also, please follow us on X and also on Instagram. But more importantly, please follow us on Patreon. It's a vibrant community. We have a lot of discussion, not just on BTS, not just on K-pop, but in music in general, movies, TV shows, and sometimes we just have fun. And we do have a free tier just in case you want to try things out first. Thank you. I'll see you there.